Did you know Jesus is in Joshua? Oh, yes, he is. Let's look at this closer. So in Joshua 5, verses 13 to 17, we see Joshua face the commander of the Lord's army. He talks of this. A man was standing before him with a sword drawn in his hand, and Joshua went to him and said, "Are you for us or for our adversaries?" And the man says, "No, I am the commander of the Lord's army. Now I have come." So Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshiped and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" And the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Take off your sandals from your feet. The place where you are standing on is holy." And Joshua did so. Okay, so you have a man with a sword in his hand, and Joshua asks who he's for. And he says, "I am not for anybody. I am the commander of the Lord's armies." And what's amazing about that is that when Joshua falls down and worships him, Jesus never says, or the angel or the man never says, "Stop." He says, "You are on holy ground. Take off your sandals." Okay? And every single other instances, the angel of the Lord that's not Jesus, is always saying, "Do not worship me." But when it's Jesus, he accepts the worship. So what it tells me is every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And notice he is the commander of the Lord's armies. Jesus is also seen in Revelation as the commander of the Lord's armies. And we have a direct connection to Revelation 1 verses, I think, 14 and 17, or 14 through 17, where Jesus is standing with the sword in his hand. So that's a direct connection. But here's what's even more amazing is that Joshua's posture of fell to his face on the earth and worshiped. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Now let's go back to Exodus chapter 23. And he says, "I'm going to send an angel before you to protect you on the way and bring you to the place that I have prepared. Be attentive to him and listen to him. Do not defy him, because he will not forgive your acts of rebellion." Now, be attentive to him and listen to him. Remember, Jesus gets baptized where? In the Jordan, where they just crossed. And God opens up the heavens and says, "This is my beloved son, who I am well pleased. Listen to him." So it's an echo of what's being said here. He says, and then do not defy him, because he will not forgive your acts of rebellion. So when the Pharisees come against Jesus and say, "Hey, what you're doing is from the devil," Jesus says that is the one thing that you are not forgiven of, is coming against the Holy Spirit, what the Holy Spirit's doing. See the connection here? And he says, "But if you will carefully obey him and do everything I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and a foe to your foes. For my angel, I will go before you and bring you to the land of all the enemies and wipe them out." Now, why is it important that Lord goes before them? Because what is happening in this book is judgment. And the only person that can judge sin is the Lord. Hear that again. The only person that can go in and defeat the enemy and judge them is the Lord. So in the same way that he is appearing to Joshua, and what we see in Jericho, I'm not even going to go into that because that's a whole nother rabbit trail. You see almost verbatim reflected into what Jesus says, "Follow me. Obey. If you love me, you will obey my commands." Do you see? This is not just a revelation of who Jesus was in the Old Testament. It's a message to us after the New Testament that we need to follow God, and why. Welcome to the rabbit hole.